Hello friends, welcome to our channel I Teach. We'll talk about today framing of Indian Constitution. Our next topic is framing of Indian Constitution. So in this topic we'll talk about making of Indian Constitution, composition of Constituent Assembly, working of the Constituent Assembly and committees of the Constituent Assembly. So in 1934, for the first time by M.N. Roy, the idea of a Constituent Assembly for India was put forward. And in 1935, Indian National Congress, that is INC, for the first time officially demanded a Constituent Assembly to frame the Constitution of India. Therefore, in 1938, Jawaharlal Nehru, on behalf of INC, declared that the Constitution of Free India must be framed without outside interference by a Constituent Assembly elected on the basis of adult franchise. Demand was finally accepted in principle by the British government in what is known as August Offer in 1940, and in 1942 Sir Stafford Cripps, who was the member of cabinet, came to India with a draft proposal of the British government on the framing of an independent constitution to be adopted after the World War II. So he came, but his proposal was rejected by Muslim League because Muslim League wanted India to be divided into two autonomous states, that is India and Pakistan, and with two separate constituent assemblies. Finally, cabinet mission was sent to India, and cabinet mission rejected the two constituent assemblies. It put forth a scheme for the constituent assembly which more or less satisfied the Muslim League. As we have studied, that Constituent Assembly was created as a result of Cabinet Mission Plan of 1946. So initially, Constituent Assembly was not a sovereign body because they were asked to work within the limits of the Cabinet Mission Plan. That's why they were not sovereign. The Constituent Assembly was not sovereign. Cabinet Mission Plan, there was no concept of partition of country. There was a category of Indian states like A, B and C, and after independence the Constituent Assembly became sovereign. So it is asked often that whether the Constituent Assembly was sovereign or not. There were two kinds of members in Constituent Assembly. First is elected or indirectly from the British province, and second is nominated by princely states. So the total strength of the Constituent Assembly was to be 389. Of these, 296 seats were to be allotted to British India and 93 seats to be to the princely states. Means 296 plus 93. Out of 296 seats allotted to the British India, 292 members were to be drawn from the 11 governors' provinces and 4 from the 4 chief commissioner provinces, 1 from each. So finally there were 229 members from the British provinces and 70 members from the princely states, and that is total was 299 members. Earlier, before independence, it was 389 as we have already studied. So if we talk about working of the Constituent Assembly, so on December 9, 1946, the Constituent Assembly held its first meeting, and Muslim League boycotted the meeting because Muslim League insisted on a separate state of Pakistan. So they boycotted. So the meeting was thus attended only by 211 members, and Dr. Sachidanand Sinha was elected as the temporary president of the assembly because he was at that time the oldest member. So later on December 11, 1946, Rajendra Prasad and H.C. Mukherjee, they both were elected as the president and vice president of the assembly respectively. And Sir B.N. Rao was appointed as the constitutional advisor to the assembly. And on December 13, 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru moved the historic objective resolution in the assembly. It laid down the fundamentals and philosophy of the constitutional structure. It was passed by Nehru himself. The objective resolution actually passed by Nehru himself. So he was the pioneer, visionary. Even his speeches in the first meeting was taken as the objective resolution itself. This objective resolution was unanimously adopted by the Assembly on January 22nd, 1947. So it influenced the eventual shaping of the constitution through all its subsequent stages. Its modified version forms the preamble of the present constitution. The Constituent Assembly also performs some of the important functions, like it ratified the India's membership of the Commonwealth in May 1949. It also adopted the national flag on July 22nd, 1947. It adopted the national anthem on January 24, 1950, and also the very same day it adopted the national song, and on that day only Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the first president of India. So these are some functions performed by assembly, and but they are also very important. Finally, the Constituent Assembly had 11 sessions over 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. The constitution makers had gone through the constitution of about 60 countries, and the draft constitution was considered for 114 days. On 24th January 1950, the Constituent Assembly held its final session, and on January 26, 1950, till the formation of new parliament after the first general election in 1951-52, the assembly continued as the provisional parliament of India. For dealing with different tasks of the constitution making, the Constituent Assembly appointed a number of committees. Out of these, 8 were major committees and others were minor committees. So first of all, we'll take major committees. First is Union Power Committee, Union Constitution Committee, and State Committee. These 3 committees were headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Rules of Procedures Committee and Steering Committee were headed by Rajendra Prasad. Advisory Committee, Fundamental Right, Tribals, Minority and Excluded Subjects Committee were headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and Drafting Committee was headed by B.R. Ambedkar. Also, the Provincial Constitution Committee was headed by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So, if we talk about some minor committees, House Committee and Committee on Chief Commissioners Provinces were headed by Pattabhi Sitaramaiah. Ad hoc Committee on National Flag and Finance and Staff Committee was headed by Rajendra Prasad, and Common Committees on Functions of Constituent Assembly was headed by G.V. Mavlankar. So these were some major and minor committees of Constituent Assembly. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar introduced the final draft of the Constitution in the Assembly on 4th November 1948, and the motion on draft Constitution was declared as passed on November 26, 1949. The Constitution as adopted on November 26, 1949 contained a preamble, 395 articles and 8 schedules. Some provisions of the Constitution pertaining to citizenship, elections, provisional parliament, temporary and transitional provisions, and short titles came into force on November 26, 1949 itself. The remaining provisions of the Constitution came into force on January 26, 1950. The January 26 was specifically chosen as the date of commencement of the Constitution because of its historical importance. Because we know that it was on this day in 1930 the Purna Swaraj Day was declared following the resolution of the Lahore session, that is December 1929 of the INC. So the critics have criticized the Constituent Assembly on various grounds as well. Their grounds were the Constitution is not a representative body. It is not a sovereign body. It is time consuming, dominated by Congress. Also, it was it was dominated by politicians, dominated by Hindus, etc. So this was all about framing of the constitution.